And we have a little bit of a mirror match in that both of these players are from France.
Oh,
But
they're
one of them is
both French
playing.
players.
One of them playing is one of them is playing Bocce de Rock, and the other one is playing Nikke. Bocce de Rock is the pretty popular version with
Comeback
a treasure and comeback. And the Nikke list is the kind of
The Japan special.
the Japan special with the comeback and standby.
All right, so Ian, you're not too familiar with this particular or with Nikke yet, right?
No, I'm not super familiar. I haven't played against it that much because the BCS season was already over by the time Nikke released. But I'm pretty interested in seeing how this game goes.
Yeah. So the main way this Nikke deck is going to be working is using its Modernia level 1 combo with comeback. That card has an on-attack reveal top. You can salvage a level X or lower character based on the level of the revealed card. And then if that revealed card is a level 2 or higher, you also get to send it to stock. So it can accumulate a lot of resources. And then you're going to be utilizing those resources throughout the game with your standbys that are giving you free cards in order to get a lot of really powerful effects with those extra resources that you are either accumulating or saving.
Yeah. How's the finisher of the Nikke?
It's a slow deck. It's a slow finish deck.
Okay, so we're going to be expecting a lot of heals on the top end then? And then just a medium finisher?
Yeah. On the side of Bocce, we do have two very strong level 0s that you want to be seeing in the early game. We have the level 0 Rio, which can buff another character on attack. And we have the level 0 Bocce that has on death, you can pay 1, clock the top card of your deck, top check up to 2 cards, and add up to 2 characters. So able to get a lot of advantage back. Going to be a really nice card to fill up your hand, especially in combination with the level 0 Nijiga Brainstorm that gives you increased hand size.
Yeah, this is a very strong opener on the Bocce side. Pretty much can't wish for a better one except for maybe triple level 0s on for Trifield.
Well, the level 0 Rio is a runner. It can run away from an opposing character, so having that open slot there does potentially allow it to live. The cards we're seeing here on the side of Volkrok, our Nikke player, we have the level 0 Tia, which is an on-death ditch 1 top 4 at a traded character, and it cannot side attack, so it's 2,500 power.
Okay.
And then in the middle, we see level 0 Delta. This is on play, pay 1, discard 1, salvage a character, give 1,000. And also on play, you get the top check 2 rearrange, which we already saw. So we're probably going to be seeing him here grabbing the level 0... I forget this character's name. What is this character? Maiden? The one that was played on the first turn. This one has the on-play effect. You can choose one of your opponent's characters. He can't move. So going to be disallowing the Rio from moving to that empty center slot.
Yeah.
But
how important are Stampede traders for this matchup?
They're mostly impactful starting at level 2. Because most of your impactful cards in this deck are going to be your level 3 characters. Important cards like the Sin, which is a global 15. You can bring out your 3-2 combo. You can also bring out your 3-2 Modernia, which is a trial deck card that you can actually use for a rest counter. So, but we'll take a look at that in a bit. We see 2 Summer Rappies here. So these 2 back row cards. This card is really powerful in combination with the level 1 combo. It has the on-play effect. If you have 2 or more other characters, you can draw 1, discard 1. And then if you play a Climax, you can return it to your hand to give one of your characters 1,000 power and also the ability to choose the top card of your deck from the top 2. So you can imagine with the Modernia that wants to reveal level 2 and higher off the top, it's a very powerful card to combo alongside it, letting you choose. Oh, it's like you look at top 2. It's like, oh, level 2. I'm going to just leave that on
perfect.
top.
Yeah.
And then what's really nice about it is that Modernia's conditioned to be 6k. She's 6k power with a Soul Trigger, by the way.
Wait.
She's 6k with a Soul Trigger.
So it also has a Soul Trigger.
What's really cool about this card is that its condition for power and its condition for Climax combo is 2 or more other. So you can bounce 2 Summer Rappies in the back row, still have a full front row, and still combo.
Yeah, but usually you will have too many cards at hand if you do something like that, right?
I feel like this deck can play a bit lower to the ground in terms of hand size, and you're okay with like bouncing those Summer Rappies back to your hand.
Yeah, so that also probably explains why we are tri-fielding with a climax on level 0. I kind of assume he's just staying kind of low to the ground. And is he already set up for doing his combo?
So we have one combo on board, and I think I saw a second copy of the combo in hand.
Okay, so we're pretty much set up already.
Yeah,
And
and then
play a very aggressive early game.
we have nothing set up for Bochi yet,
Bochi.
though. We have 2 Nijika Brainstorms. We have a couple other zeros. We have a level 2, a level 3. We don't have the right climax. We don't have that comeback climax.
Is there a good way for Bochi to climax swap at all?
The climax swap would be the level 0 Hitori. This one has on-play top check 2 rearrange, but that is also not in the hand. And even if it was in the hand, oh, I think there it is. It was just paid out of stock.
Okay. We won't be able to get it with the Nijika Brainstorm.
Yeah, we still don't have much. The funny thing is that this board on Volkrok's side is not particularly high power. It's 2-5, 1-5, 1-5.
But we might not be able to clear it.
Oh, looks like we will be able to clear it. So we have the Rio that's going to be able to buff 1500 if he has 4 bodies on the board. And then we have the level 0 Bochi, that's 2k, and then the last card is going to be the level 0 Stock Bomb Bochi, which will be able to not only get rid of the Tia, but it will deny the on-death effect, because it's going to be sending it to stock.
Right. This level 0 Bochi was also necessary for some other condition, right?
Yes, so you can sacrifice it on stage for to make the 3-2 early play Rio free instead of paying 2 stock.
Right.
And then you also want it in waiting room in order to salvage cards off of the level 1 Futari, which salvages a level X or lower, where X is the number of that Bochi in your waiting room.
It always feels so strong when you get to do like your Bochi combo, and then the turn after get to do another combo by salvaging it back with the Futari.
That being said, we don't even have our first turn of combo yet.
Yeah.
We just have a whole bunch of zeros right now. But was able to clear Volkrok's board, and the hand quality is not looking too great. 3 stock here, pay out the standby. I mean, it makes some sense, right?
Yeah, it's not like you really use the stock that aggressively in this deck.
So Volkrok here does have to clock something. You had the option between clocking one of the 2 Summer Rappies or clocking this level 1 Jackal, which is a rest 2 Brainstorm. So you can play it in the front row, rest your 2 Summer Rappies in the back for the Brainstorm, and then use it as an attacker. It's a 7k attacker at level 1.
Yeah. I think I saw that when I was looking up this deck. It was like, why is this Brainstorm attacking for this much?
3k base power. I think the real question is, why is the condition for power just having all your board be Nikkei? I think that's the better question.
Yeah. I mean, usually there's a larger power penalty for stuff like Brainstorms, so that it's generally only used on the back row, but this one just attacks for 7k?
Yeah, so we are going to be grabbing the Jackal here anyway off of the effect of Maiden, following it up with Summer Rappy to draw 1, discard 1, probably just discard the card that we just drew, and I can only assume we're going for a 3rd combo here.
Yeah, why not?
And we don't have any stock to Brainstorm with, so we're just going to go straight into our triple combo turn, bouncing back the Summer Rappy, giving it to the center slot. So the center slot is the only one that's going to have the top check 2, and the other ones will be going in blind.
In these situations, all you have to do is just hit, and hit he does, right?
Yeah, so that is the level 3 Sin. Going to be able to salvage a level 3 or lower character, so grabbing Alice early play. In my opinion, one of the most powerful cards in this particular deck. So it's a 4 or more early play, 10k power. On play, discard 1 to heal to hand, heal the top card of clock to hand, and then on either player's turn, if it reverses a battle opponent, you can top deck that reversed battle opponent.
Are there any combos with the top deck as well?
With the not really. It's just a really annoying card to play against because your cards that you want to keep around are getting kicked to the top of your deck, like things like Encore and like Nino matchup. Additionally, it can be annoying if your opponent has multiple Alices on the board and you are trying to trigger soul triggers with like chump attackers, but they keep top decking your chump attackers, so you're triggering them instead.
It does seem like Naka is taking all the damage so far.
We're seeing another level 2 or higher character off the top here, revealing this 2/2 assist, and going to be grabbing a 3500 vanilla counter. So what I think is really interesting about how Nikkei builds have developed into using this vanilla counter is really the only thing that is like really worth defending is Alice. And so for that reason, you don't run a memory kit counter, which would be a 3K. You instead run a vanilla 3500 counter because you can remove them by sending them to top deck instead of sending them to memory.
Right, you don't need memory counters if you already have a top deck ability anyway, right?
So I think that's a very interesting adaptation that we've seen here. Notably, there was a player at Japan Worlds that was using Nikkei in like top 4, and they were using this counter. And at the time, not very many people were using this. They were just using more conventional counters like anti-overlevel. There's a +6 soul counter in the deck as well. But like we've seen a lot of players moving towards just using this 3500 vanilla counter, which is not something you see in very many decks.
Yeah, most of the times we tend to go for utility, but if the level 3 already has the utility inbuilt, it's not very necessary. And it does make it a 13-5 after backup.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a real card in Bocchi that gets over 13-5.
Well, there is the Dino Bocchi, which we do see here in the hand. So this 2/1 Bocchi gains 6,000 power against a level 3 or higher battle opponent when it attacks it. But also, every time the opponent uses an act ability, she gains additional power based on the number of characters on the opponent's board, up to 2,500 extra power. So she basically says, oh, you used a counter? Well, guess what? You're giving me power too.
It countered.
Yeah. So this is a really nice card that has seen increasing use over time, especially in standby heavy formats, because it can very easily contest level 3s, and it's also just experience 2 that you need for your Bocchi level 1 combo anyway. So it just kind of fits right in.
But on our Bocchi side, it doesn't seem like we found a climax yet. So,
yeah, all 4 comebacks are out as well.
Yeah. So all we can do is just go for a good refresh. Hope to find... Well, I don't even know if you want to find the Bocchi climax in second deck. It always feels very underwhelming whenever I play it after my first refresh.
Because your deck is so much more compressed once you're in your second deck, right?
Yeah.
And you're a lot more prone to just revealing climaxes rather than just revealing a lot of characters.
It's definitely not an ideal spot for Naka to be in. But he does go back with a reasonable refresh.
The clock compression is not like anything to be scoffing at either. Like just any compression you can get at this point, especially considering the game is going not so great so far.
Getting to refresh on 1/6 is always like what you aim to do in these kinds of decks.
That wasn't too great though. Losing a climax.
Yeah,
right
there
off the
goes
top.
one of them. There's still one in hand as well. I wonder if he's planning to keep it for the combo now, or...
Okay, so we're seeing the 4 or more early play Kita. So this is an early play that gives power to all of your characters if it is in the front row, and additionally gains extra power herself if you meet board condition. And slamming the treasure climax here. So this Butari is going to be swinging for 4/5 plus 15 from Kita plus 1k from climax for a total of 7,000. Obviously, with Volcroc not being level 2 yet, you can't play a counter here to defend it. Triggering comeback, what will we be grabbing here? We will be grabbing a level 3 Rio finisher, just going to try to get the pieces together for the end game.
Yeah,
And
study
try to-
setting it up for that.
And try to deal damage in the meantime.
Because it doesn't seem like we're still planning to use our level 1 climax combo in the second deck that's already very compressed.
Man, why does this Nijika Brainstorm have a soul trigger as well? Man.
All the way up to 2-1 already from 1-2. I did not expect him to take that much damage already. This is only the second attack too.
So what do you think about siding here versus fronting? I feel like I feel like a lot of players are kind of in the mentality of like, well, my opponent took all this damage already, so maybe I'll just side here. It reduces the chance of them canceling this, and they probably have a cancel incoming anyway, right?
I don't necessarily think so. It just depends a lot on the current compression. And I'm not too sure what the current compression is like. I think side attacking is pretty safe because you take less damage as well, in case you want a little bit more time to set up your finisher. Because what amount of stock does triple Rio need?
So Rio doesn't need a lot of stock, because with her on-play effect, which is the same as like Marine from Hololive, you sack a character on stage, top check 3, one goes to hand, one goes to stock. So you can get triple Rio onto the board with only starting with 4 stock.
Yeah.
And then you can still spend the last stock that you have on something as well, like if you need a brainstorm or something, because the cost for her effect activates at the end of attack.
Oh, right. Wait, so can you already do... No, you cannot do it on 3 stock. Right, okay.
Yeah, you can't do triple on 3 stock. You need 4.
A little bit unfortunate for both players that have been taking so much damage.
No climax here for Volcroc to work with either. And we know that one climax is also in the stock, second from the bottom. There's a comeback there that was triggered on the first attack. Seeing Delta come out here, top check 2 rearrange. 2 non-climaxes. 2 non-climaxes. What are we going to be seeing here next?
Is it good or bad? Being able to just clean trigger those 2 non-climaxes is pretty nice in this position, right?
Yeah, it depends how many he's out in total, which maybe we'll get a glimpse of as we use this drop salvage ability and look through the waiting room. Maybe we'll get a glimpse at how many climaxes are out. 1, for sure. 2, 3, 4. 4 only?
4 with 2 clean on top? There's 1 in his stock, you said, right?
Yeah.
Sounds...
Huh. So is it top card, clean, climax, then? I mean, it has to be, right?
I guess so. It might still be... Wait, there's 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 1 more in stock then?
Was there one more? Were there 2 comebacks triggered on the previous turn? I might have missed it. Well, we're going to find out in a sec. We're going to see the Alice early play, pay 2. No, those are clean.
Okay.
Maybe there's more than 4 cards in the deck.
Yeah, that's possible.
So this Alice going to start wreaking havoc on the board. Although the Kita is going to be a really good countermeasure against Alice, as it will help Naka to beat over it, especially with like the 2-1 Dino Bochi on the follow-up turn.
Because the Kita is currently at 12k. On offense, it doesn't seem like Volcroc will be able to contest the Kita.
So this 2-1 is a pretty interesting card. I believe it prevents side attacking. So let's see. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 to gain 1k, and your opponent cannot play events until the end of their next turn. And then also on attack, if you have 4 more other Nikkei characters, this gets 4,000, and character facing this cannot side attack until the end of the opponent's next turn.
Already cancelling the first attack. Kicking
to top deck, swing for 2. This isn't big enough, is it? Unless I'm missing something?
I don't know.
Because this Kita should be 12k power.
Maybe that's also what they're discussing currently.
Oh, looks like there were 5 cards in there.
There were 5 cards in total. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So then this is a climax, and bottom 2 are also climaxes then. Presumably.
I would assume so. So it does seem like Volcroc will be able to stabilize on 2-1. And maybe take another damage or next turn. Yeah, and it does seem like the Kita was stronger. So we do get to...
Interesting that on the Nikkei side they paid 1 for that anti-event effect. Because like I feel like this wouldn't be a great spot to use that effect anyway, necessarily.
Did they pay out a climax with it?
No, they didn't, because the bottom part of stock was that level 3 Sin that we saw off of the top check that got sent to stock. Brainstorm's going to hit here. I imagine we grab just more pieces of our end game here, like maybe another copy of level 3 Rio if we don't already have a ton of copies in hand, and then you just kind of play whatever else is chilling in your hand as your attackers for the turn.
Yeah, or possibly more early plays, but it doesn't seem like there's any early plays in Grave.
So there's level 3 Rio.
Yep.
We're probably going to see the level 2 Dino Bochi being played here alongside some other attacker, possibly the 1-0 Futari.
Or just shove a Brainstorm to front.
And there's the Futari. Going to use the on-play effect. So as we said earlier, it's on-play discard 1, count the number of Bochi level 0 bombs in your waiting room, and you can salvage level extra lower. But I think his hand is all set. So we're just going to chill. Is that triple? It's triple Rio plus stock shuffle event in hand right now.
Oh, the stock shuffle even.
Yeah.
That
So
might be something. Oh,
this should be 2 cancels.
it would have been kind of interesting to play the stock shuffle event here. But maybe not.
It's like there's a 2-card deck that are both climaxes and then 3 stock, so you're likely to end up in the exact same position you started with just 1 climax in stock. And
It's not really it.
well, actually no, you're favored to put an additional climax into stock, but it's probably not worth the price. You have to use a card in hand, you have to use a stock. He's going to be swinging for 13, probably explaining... Oh, 14-5. 14-5. And Volcroc knows that if he were to use his counter here, that Bochi would be going straight up to 16-5. And it's...
And the Dino Bochi managing to scale over the level 3.
Yeah, that is what that card is here for, I suppose. Okay, so we had a refresh with 6 then. No. Yeah, refresh with 6. There's 1 comeback climax at the top of the stock currently, and then 1 in waiting room. Summer Rappy's going to draw a ditch. We don't really have a lot of great stuff to work with. We have level 1 combos with no combo. We have a Tia level 0, I guess. But I think for the most part, Naka's board is going to go uncontested this turn.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if it matters too much. We kind of want to progress the game state by just gathering a little bit of stock. We don't really need to clear the board, I think.
Yeah. So while this Brainstorm here, the Jackal Brainstorm Volcroc is using, it does pay out a climax, but I think more importantly, we're trying to get more targets into waiting room potentially for things like comeback or standby triggers.
Yeah.
I mean, all you can really do here is just play 2 dudes. Pick 2, any 2, and then just swing.
Yeah, this level 0 Tia does give him a little bit of extra utility in case he triggers all the climaxes in his deck.
I think with so much deck remaining, though, even if you trigger multiple climaxes, you probably just don't want to mess with it anymore. First trigger is going to be clean, though. Naka's getting real close to level 3 here.
2-5 right now. But even if he hits level 3, do you even try to finish from there? Or
yeah, maybe not from here. So now that Naka has hit level 3, though, if you're not going for a finisher turn, you do need to figure out what you are going to be doing on this turn. One thing that is nice is that Nikkei isn't representing a whole lot of aggression in their level 3 game.
Yeah.
So maybe chilling at 3-0 for a turn, especially considering that your entire board lived, is fine. And then you don't need to dig super heavily for the gold bar, or for the treasure, sorry, that because you have the ability to dig for it off of the Rio on-play effect. And you also have your attacks to try to trigger 1 and add to your hand that way.
it does seem like there's, I think, 3 gold bars or treasure climax is already out.
Oh, still clocking though.
Clocking? But does he have a way to heal it back down to 0?
Yeah, it was drawn off the clock though.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even already in the hand, so that wasn't necessarily part of the plan. I feel like you just play it though.
Probably, yeah.
Interesting.
He's
Going with the Rio here.
seems like he's setting up a finisher already.
We have found the treasure. Going to be adding that to hand and sending the Bochi to stock if we're not looking at a third card. Oh, okay.
Ends up looking for a third card anyway.
Are we sending it?
It does look like we're sending it. From 2-5. I wonder how likely it is to finish from here. Because he didn't refresh with one of the climaxes. Didn't see any climaxes triggered last turn.
I'm surprised we're sacrificing the Brainstorm here. I feel like it's definitely more important to keep the Brainstorm around than the Dino Bochi.
Right.
I mean, if the plan is to sacrifice both, maybe the third Rio will come out here and sacrifice the Dino Bochi, then maybe it didn't matter.
Yeah. Or you can sacrifice the Kita.
Oh, what's going on here? So we're playing the level 0 Nichika, discard 1, shuffle it into your deck to search your deck for a character. Okay, so this level 2 Bochi has the on-play effect commonly known as Fumio,
Yeah.
where when you play it, sometimes you pay a cost. Your opponent chooses a climax from their waiting room to leave out and then shuffles all the other cards back into the deck. So if there are a lot of non-climaxes in the waiting room, this is a great way to make your opponent's deck ratio significantly worse. So this ends up being a lot more effective than the stock shuffle event if we were to play that.
Right, there's so many cards going back then.
Yeah, looks like we're going to be shuffling back like one climax and like 11 or 12 non-climax.
Yeah, this could be a game. Finishing from 2-5 with this compression.
It will be one fewer Rio finisher though that
Yeah.
we're doing here.
But there's so much damage being shuffled back into the deck.
Yeah, so what's our damage potential here? We have all 4s on our 3 direct lanes, and we have 2 instances of 3 from the Rios. So in order to survive the turn, you need...
Stick 3 times?
In order to survive, you need
trigger.
at least 3 cancels.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I definitely think from this point 3 cancels is doable.
It is doable.
It's just a matter of if they're there at the top.
Yeah,
right?
but also like... I'm not even sure if you're in a good position if you take 2 instances of damage. It's not like Nika has a super explosive finisher that can guarantee a kill from 3-1.
It really doesn't. It has a lot of defensive tools and not a whole lot of damage output.
I can kind of imagine that this board just... that on the swing back, you might clear the board, but like you're still at like 3-4 or something. If you take 2 instances of damage.
As Nikkei, right?
As Nika, yeah. It might be a little bit of a weird position.
The hard part is about clearing the board is that, first of all, Volkrok doesn't have a standby, so you cannot guarantee that you're going to be able to bring out some sort of assist that could give the board power.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
still there.
Also, the 3-2 Kita is buffing up the board significantly as well. So we have 12k everywhere.
Yeah.
And even, like, Nikkei may be a standby deck, but, like, if we don't have any standbys, these cards on board are going to be very normal sized. Alright, so there's 1. So we need 3. We need 3 to live. There's 2.
I would have preferred cancelling one of the 4s, but maybe we can still cancel even more than that.
Consideration on the comeback trigger here to grab a healer.
Yeah.
Which I think is...
even more.
I think is interesting because... Oh, actually,
oh,
no.
Wow.
Okay, that's a lot of cancels.
Yeah. This is a very good position for Nikkei right now. Does take the 5 over here, but like, we'll take those, right?
So, the remaining card in Naka's hand is the 3-2 healer. Now, there's only 1 stock, so you wouldn't be able to play the 3-2 healer normally, but it does have that extra effect where if you have the level 0 Bochi stock bomb on your board, you can sacrifice that to bring it in for free, which would allow you to have plays even though you only have one stock. That being said, I feel like Naka has a pretty reasonable expectation that at least one character on his board will live.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a clock here from Volcroc into a standby and a counter. In the hand, we have Delta, Summer Rappy, Modernia, and I believe the last card was Alice.
I think with the standby, it might just be reasonable to finish if we have multiple or one or two combos.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that the combo isn't typically prioritized super highly. A lot of the cards that players tend to prioritize are the Alice early play for mid-game heals. The 3/2 Sin is actually a pretty high priority card. It gives global 15 to all of your opponents, or to all of your other characters. And she has an effect that says at the start of your opponent's draw phase, you can pay 5, rest one of their standing characters, and burn equal to the rest of the character's soul. So it can be a nice way to close out a game. And then the Modernia, because it works with the rest counter.
Right.
So this Modernia, though, which we do have in hand, it has the ability on play you can free summon another character and then give that character that you free summoned plus 2,000 power. We're still deciding on the drop salvage here, though. I feel like you get rid of the counter.
Yeah, probably. I can't really imagine a world where we really care about the board for next turn.
Oh, I don't think we went for anything.
Okay.
So we're just playing the Modernia. We're going to heal to hand. And then the Alice is going to be 12k, so it's going to tie a lane. And Modernia and Delta are both going to be smaller.
Tying a lane is perfectly fine, though. You just want the ability to go off.
Oh, wait, we have standby. Okay, so we're probably going to see the Sin level 3 coming out here. That global 15. That will allow Modernia... If you bounce Summer Rappy and give Modernia the 1k, and then bring out Sin, Modernia will be 13.
But we can top kick the Kita, right?
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. So, ideally, you would probably want to swap these lanes, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so. But I guess we're not going for that line right now.
I think it only matters if you're... It doesn't actually matter unless you're trying to play around a counter.
Yeah, but there's no counters available anyway. I mean, we all know that the last card in hand is the 3/2 healer.
Yeah, so in this case, probably top decking the Rio is better because it means that Naka will not have access to that particular copy if we get like a brainstorm or actually, well, I shouldn't even say that. We only have one stock.
Yeah. Maybe we're just ending by giving them the Rio anyway. Kind of a dead draw.
I'm surprised we're attacking Modernia first with no effect. So this Modernia does have the on-attack effect of discarding 2 cards, milling the bottom 4 cards of the opponent's deck, burn equal to the number of climaxes, which could be used here to try to push Naka into a lethal. But we're just not using it here. Instead, we're just going for vanilla swings. Maybe to try to just finish up with the Sin. The funny thing about the Sin is that because there will be a 1-soul and a 2-soul character left alive on the board, Volcroc will have his pick between the two for how much damage he wants to deal with that effect.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect for this situation.
Where was the Rappy power given? Top deck. If this swings for 1, then it's just lethal because. Huh?
So no swing.
No swing. Oh
yeah, and then pay burn.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
How many cards did he have in deck? Oh, he had no deck left. I think.
No, it doesn't matter how much deck is left, right?
Oh wait,
no. I see. For no swing because you can guarantee the 1
swing,
burn.
1. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I completely missed that. That's my bad.
It's a really cool play with these kinds of effects.
All right, well that's going to be it for our Nikkei game. I feel like we saw most of the important cards throughout the list. Apart from the level 3 rest counter. So the 3/2 rest counter it's actually a modal counter. So this card has 2 different effects that you can use. So the first one is it doesn't require the Modernia on board at all. You can just draw 1, discard 1. juice the opponent's battling character, give it +6 soul, and then put the event into clock. But more importantly, you can send a Modernia level 3 from your stage to memory in order to be a rest counter and top check 2 rearrange. And it costs no stock.
That is pretty strong.
Yeah. So that's definitely a card that you definitely need to be aware of, especially whenever your opponent has a Modernia on the board. Modernia is a pretty high standby target, in my opinion. Not necessarily if you even have the rest counter, but if you potentially force your opponent to play around it. And the fact that this card costs 0 stock to do a rest counter is insanely powerful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think the craziest thing about this particular package is that both this counter and the 3/2 Modernia that it goes with are trial deck cards. Isn't that great?
I saw another card that's very strong from the trial deck.
Yeah.
It was something like, look at the top 6 cards.
Yeah, so it would be this one right here, the level 0 Scarlet. So this is a card that you will probably see in most, if not all, Nikkei builds. So on play, you gain 500 times the number of cards in your clock. So you can gain up to 3,000 power. And then on play, you can clock the top card of your stock to top check up to 6, add a Nikkei character, and then top check 2 rearrange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded crazy to
also
me.
a trial deck card. And so some of the things you can do with this card, let's say you top check 2, you see a climax you need or some card you need, you follow up with Summer Rappy, use the draw ditch effect to draw that card. If you see a level 2 or higher card, then you know to attack with Modernia first, and then you get that free stock. So it combos very, very well with a lot of the other cards in the set. And it's just a very, very powerful card overall. And it's red too. You level it for red.
Right.
It's great.
We haven't really seen that card being played at all, but right?
What, this one?
This game?
This one, it did not get played for... Yeah, it did not get played, I think, at all.
Yeah.
So... but yeah, just Nikkei has a lot of really interesting interactions, like the Summer Rappy being able to be used with Modernia, the Summer Rappy being able to be rested for the Jackal Brainstorm that rests 2 characters, things like that. And I think it's really interesting how this deck came to be realized by the Japanese players, because this is definitely not something that, at least from what I saw, was something that people were looking at in initial reveals. It kind of just popped up at a major tournament. A player had really good success with this deck, and it just kind of became the deck.
Yeah. I hope we get to see the other builds for Nikkei as well later, with the gold bar, with the treasure climaxes. It sounded really cool being able to give shot trigger to all of your climaxes.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier in the Avatar game, where when you have a finisher that has more payoff on the cancel effect than just the attack itself, things get really silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
And did you have any final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to say we are probably getting ready for the interview.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we have our winner for our round 4. So we'll be right back after we set him up for an interview. So stay tuned. And we are back with Volkrok, the winner of our round 4. So first of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So you were on the comeback standby Nikkei build, the kind of Japan special, right?
Yes.
I feel like other Western players have been talking a lot about the hype of offensive builds. So what made you decide to go with this build?
The hyper offensive build, they do not work if you compress too well.
Right.
That's why I wanted to play a game where you make your opponent use their resources. They cannot finish you, and then you can win by having the game last longer.
So basically you want them to be playing around you.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how do you feel about the game that we just had?
My opponent didn't have his level 1 combo, so the game was a bit easier. I lost the board at level 2. It is not supposed to happen, so I had to tank his finisher turn.
Yeah, that level 2 dinosaur Bochi really put in work, right?
Yeah, it really annoying for me. And my opponent went for the finisher turn, so I knew that my next turn I had a real opportunity to finish the game. If he decided to play slowly, then I had less option, and maybe he could have given me the next turn.
Right. Okay, so with this being round 4, we still have a couple rounds left to go. What's going through your head as you go into these last couple games?
I will play each game as a new game, thinking about my previous games, and yeah, just continue playing the game.
Yeah, I feel like that's been what a lot of people have been saying throughout the day. Just like take it one game at a time, stay focused.
Yeah.
So, best of luck to you in your next 2 games. And for those of you in chat, our next trivia question is going to be: how many different Bang Dream products have been released in English edition Weiss Schwarz? This is going to be all of the products, things like trial decks, booster sets, like special products as well. So if you are going to be checking the list, make sure you check very thoroughly. And we will see you guys after the break with our round 5 match. Thanks for watching, everybody.